When it comes to Xinjiang in China's far northwest, there's what the Chinese Communist Party wants you to believe.
Xinjiang has been transformed into a land of life, a land of thriving vitality.
And then there's the truth.
At least 1 million Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities are believed to be detained in Xinjiang.
Since 2017, China has rounded up, detained and indoctrinated more than 1 million Uyghurs, Turkic-speaking Muslims, in detention camps.
It's the largest mass detention of an ethnic or religious group since the Second World War.
Last month, the US, Britain and Canada imposed sanctions on Chinese officials as evidence of torture, forced labour and sexual abuse continues to emerge.
There's mounting evidence China is committing genocide in Xinjiang.
This is an ongoing crisis. These are crimes against humanity that are happening right now.
It's prompted Beijing to hit back with an aggressive propaganda campaign.
There has been quite some distorted coverage. Fake news, rumours are rumours, anti-China forces.
As a 26-year-old, do I not have anything better to do with my life than to just sit here and make up lies about all of this stuff that's happening?
Mehre Mezensov knows only one truth. Her husband Mizat Tayer is locked up in China because he's Uyghur. The 26-year-old has never spoken publicly before, fearing it would make an already perilous situation even more dangerous for him. But shocking news out of China 2 weeks ago pushed her to breaking point.
On the 1st of April 2021, I received the news that my husband had been sentenced to 25 years prison by the CCP.
What crime is your husband accused of committing?
So in their eyes, what they've convicted him of is separatism.
Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. Like, it's ridiculous.
Mehre lives in Melbourne with her parents Daniel and Yutus, who emigrated to Australia almost 35 years ago. In 2016, when Mehre was 22, she travelled to Xinjiang in China for the first time and met the man who'd become her husband.
There was like this kind of spark, I guess. I mean, I know it sounds like silly and so cliche, but I feel like from that moment when I first spoke to him, like I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him.
After marrying in China, Mehre applied for and was granted an Australian visa for Mizat. It was early 2017 and the Chinese Communist Party's crackdown against Uyghur Muslim minorities was ramping up, following decades of ethnic tensions.
People were disappearing in the middle of the night and they were getting detained and taken to places and to, never be heard of again.
Fearing for their safety, the couple booked flights to Melbourne for the 12th of April 2017. 2 days before boarding, the police came knocking.
And one of the first things they asked were, had my husband travelled overseas? And prior to us getting married, my husband travelled to Turkey and he lived and worked there for about a year. So hearing that straight away, they were just like, okay, we have to continue this at the police station.
Mehre didn't see her husband after that night for more than 2 years. From a detention camp, he wrote her a love letter as he was forcibly indoctrinated with thousands of other Uyghurs.
He said it was just kind of constant brainwashing. It just sounded crazy.
In May 2019, Mizat was unexpectedly released and the couple reunited in Xinjiang.
That was a lot of crying. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't want to let him go. I didn't want to let him out of my sight.
At that point, did you feel like everything might be okay?
I did, yeah, because I was like, They took him to the camps, like they re-educated him. He graduated. He's out now. Like, I was so hopeful. I was so sure that this time he was going to come back with me.
The couple's dream of building a life together here in Australia was shattered late last year when Mizat was taken by police yet again. 2 weeks ago, he was sentenced to 25 years in jail.
I remember just sitting and crying and shaking my head, being like, no, 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 that can't be. Like, how can you comprehend 25 years?
25 years is a real outlier. That is an extraordinarily harsh sentence.
China Director of Human Rights Watch, Sophie Richardson, says Mizat's case is appalling, but not unique.
This case is horrifyingly like many others we've documented, where the mere fact of having spent time outside the country or having contact with people outside the country is construed as being suspicious.
Human Rights Watch has legally concluded in a new report released today that the Chinese government is committing crimes against humanity in Xinjiang.
It's imperative, in our view, that governments in the United Nations radically escalate pressure on Beijing to end these crimes.
By going public, Mehre is demanding Chinese authorities release her husband, and she's begging the Australian government to help.
Release him and allow him to join me here in Australia.
The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade told 7:30 it's aware of Mizat's case, but it's not entitled to provide consular assistance to anyone who's not an Australian citizen in China.
I'm holding out hope that the Australian government will be able to help me in some way. He's my husband, he's an Australian permanent resident. I'm an Australian citizen, born and raised here. I'm like, if my government doesn't help me, then who's going to help me at this point?
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.